Hello, I'm Azai. This is just straight right back after the last episode, by the way. But welcome back to Sharin no Kuni, Himawari no Shoujo. Now, let us see what is gonna unveil, shall we? I checked my watch. Past noon already. I'm a damn fool. I'd become one of those guys waiting out in the rain for no reason. Sachi wasn't coming. No matter how long I waited, Sachi wasn't coming. As I pondered this, I saw the silhouette of a person traipsing down the hill. I briefly entertained the possibility that it was Sachi, but my 20/20 eyesight refused to accommodate such fantasies. Mana was alone. She was trudging through the rain without so much as having opened her umbrella. I rushed over to her. What's wrong? I took her under my umbrella. It was a bit of a tight squeeze. More than just rain poured down Mana's face.
お姉ちゃんね、頭が痛いから行かないって。
Feigning illness this time, was it?
マナが行こうって言ってもね、全然聞いてくれないの。
She's asleep now.
それでね、起こそうとしたんだけどね、そしたらね。
Her voice wavered on the edge of a sob. Her shoulders wavered in imitation of her voice.
マナね、本当はね。
She rubbed one of her abnormally rosy cheeks and continued with her story.
絵のことをね、言いたくないんだよ。だってお姉ちゃんに嫌われちゃうもん。いっつも優しいお姉ちゃんがなんかマナのこと怖い目で見るの。
She bit her lip in order to quell her tears even the slightest bit.
でもね、決めてたからマナは絶対にやめないんだよ。お姉ちゃんに絵を描いてほしいから、何度でもお姉ちゃんの嫌がることをするんだよ。撃たれても。
This was most likely the first time Sachi had ever struck Mana.
だって絵を描くのがお姉ちゃんの幸せなんだから。
An adamant determination dwelled inside her slight body.
帰ろう。一緒にお姉ちゃんを起こしに行こう。
Together, huh? She couldn't do anything by herself, so she had come here to ask for my help. Sachi hitting her had shocked her so much that she had walked all the way here without even remembering to open her umbrella. And even so, she still desired to rescue Sachi from herself more than anything else. Stay close to me so you don't get too wet. We walked back down the road. Mana was visibly shaken the entire way, but not even once did she cry. We heard Sachi snoring as soon as we entered the room. She was sleeping in a slovenly position, holding a pillow to her chest. I went around the side of the bed and shook her shoulder. Sachi, get up.
お姉ちゃん、起きて。
Mana grabbed Sachi's hand. Sachi, please.
何よ。
Her voice was as slovenly as her posture. Wake up and listen to what we have to say.
後にしてよ。眠い。お願い。
Sachi turned toward the wall upon seeing Mana's face. She must have felt quite awkward. It seems that Mana has a request.
お姉ちゃん。お姉ちゃん。って。あのね。ほっといてよ。
I prodded Mana lightly on the back.
マナ、ここを出てくね。
Leave?
マナのこと気にしないで、精一杯頑張ってね。
Was she able to say this only because she knew she was going to be sent away if the painting wasn't completed?
お姉ちゃんが一生懸命頑張って絵を描いてくれれば、そ それが一番だよ。だからマナのことより絵のことだけを考えてね。ちょっとどういうこと？
Sachi shot straight up, as one would expect.
マナ、ひょっとして知ってるの？お金がいるってことが。聞こえてたの。お姉ちゃんとケンイチが喋ってるのが。そう。でも気にしないでね。お姉ちゃんはお姉ちゃんのために頑張るべきだよ。すごい絵を描いてまた賞をもらえるまで頑張るべきだよ。だってお姉ちゃん、ひまわり畑で初めて出会った時すごい残念そうだったよ。口ではふざけてたけど目はずっとひまわりを見つめてたよ。本当はずっと絵を描きたいんじゃないの？描きたいけどマナがうるさく言いそうだから怖いんでしょ？つまんない絵だったら自分で許せないから描けないんだよね。
All of the color drained from Sachi's face. She bore the expression of a child groveling before the truth.
全部知ってるから。お姉ちゃんが眠くて辛いのも感覚がつかめないのも。
And about your pride, your selfishness, and your sloppiness.
一から頑張ってみようよ。お姉ちゃんが頑張って描いた絵ならマナ何でも嬉しいよ。
That's like the simplest truth ever, wasn't it?
たとえマナがその絵を見れなくてもお姉ちゃんがどこかで頑張ってくれているならそれでもいいよ。見れなくても。だからマナのことは気にしないでね。
She wanted her sister to succeed. There was no ulterior motive there, only Mana's most sincere desire.
待ってよ。出ていくなんて意味わかんないよ。それが一番だよ。だってずっと一緒に暮らしてきたでしょ。マナがお姉ちゃんの足を引っ張ってるんだよ。そんなことないって。マナに絵を見られると思うと緊張するんでしょ。だからそれは。だからマナ、お姉ちゃんの絵は見れなくてもいいって思うことにしたの。いつかどこかでテレビをつけたらお姉ちゃんが立派に表彰されてる。そういうのでもいいかなって。ごめんね、今までわがまましてて。違う。ちょっと待ってよ。マナ。
Mana did nothing but smile.
今マナに出て行かれたら私どうすればいいのよ。本当に一人ぼっちになっちゃうよ。お願いだから出て行くだなんて言わないでね。本当悪かったから、ぶったりして悪かったから。あんたが好きなんだって。私にはマナが必要なんだよ。お願い。何でもす。
She swallowed those words. She couldn't bring herself to lie for a second time.
今までありがとうね。バイバイ。
Mana headed for the door without pausing to grab anything.
マナのお姉ちゃんはすごいんだよ。
She left with a whisper. Even though she would be all alone, even though she had nowhere else to go, even though she loved Sachi so much, Mana refused to show us any tears until the very end. Sachi started acting erratically. She held her head in her hands, clicked her tongue over and over, watched her palms with an expression of abject shock on her face, all in rapid succession.
なんていうか、いや、私ダサ、マジか。ほんと、なんていうか。
She stared at the door that Mana had just left through. She forced words through her agony. The once selfish and glib Sachi had been reduced to nothing but an apology. She couldn't make any excuses. Her face twisted with remorse, her body quaked with blame. She yelled as loudly as she could. Sachi had finally learned what shame felt like. It happened in the blink of an eye. She grabbed her bag. Mana's present was inside. She burst out the door. She had completely forgotten about me. And Sharin left to chase after Mana. Even though she had only 30 minutes left, Sachi had left of her own accord in order to paint. If she didn't finish the painting, Mana wouldn't be coming back. She had to realize this the hard way. Well then, this is where it really began. It was already 3 by the time I reached the sunflower field. A girl stood alone in the middle of the road, being pelted by the rain. She was calmly examining the scenery around her. She darted her head left and right and shuffled her feet around, trying to find just the right position for a sketch. She muttered to herself, "Sachi." It took some courage to approach that ghastly figure. It's already 3. Sachi stared straight at me. I handed over the medicine.
1日8時間だろうが6時間だろうが
She had 4 days left.
必ず完成させてあげるんだから必ず
Sachi took her medicine and began her 16-hour shutdown. Almost at 13. I carried her wet body back to the room. Even though the medicine she had taken should have relaxed all of her muscles, she was still holding onto a pencil. A fiery determination lit up her sleeping face. Everything would be fine now. Even without my help, she would definitely finish that painting. And I had found something that I could do. An amateur like me wouldn't get much out of seeing her masterpiece. I needed to find a girl who was looking forward to this painting more than anyone else. The sky outside had begun to clear up, ever so slightly. Such an anime moment, dude, when there's like resolution, determination, and all that shit. Suddenly the rain just dissolves out of thin air, huh? Freaking anime. Sorry about that. That was me snorting through my nose. Sachi awoke with a start, puckering her brow in a pained manner.
よーし今日からビリッと頑張るぞ
But her words spoke differently.
飯とお茶
You got it. I briskly passed her breakfast. Her easel and stool were already set up. Sachi gobbled down the nutritional supplement I prepared for her and guzzled down her tea.
今日で終わらせる勢いでやるよ
You're pretty energetic today. What's wrong?
なんでもないちょっと頭がふらついただけま、私はもともと頭おかしいしね
She gave a hearty laugh and sat down to paint. Kick this painting's ass.
任せて
I'll be looking for Mana. I'll be around to check up on you at noon.
ありがとう
Sachi's responses were uncharacteristically candid. She must have already started focusing on her task. See ya. Well, Mana had left without even a cent to her name. I couldn't imagine that she had some destination in mind, which meant that she would be sleeping out in the open. The town covered an extraordinarily large area. Just searching around blindly would be much akin to trying to find a needle in a haystack. Perhaps I should have informed the police. No. Civil servants would have little interest in assisting a foreigner with no family register. So I was on my own then. Mana had used this field as a sort of a secret base in the past. That being said, I simply didn't have enough time to search the entire field from top to bottom. What about her colleagues? Maybe I would be able to find something out at the supermarket. Alright, that sounded like a plan. I managed to catch the manager and interrogate him. Apparently, Mana had had no real allies at the supermarket, so the odds of her staying with an acquaintance were low, meaning that her priority would be finding a place to stay sheltered from the elements. She was a foreigner, so she stood out around here. She would probably attract attention around town. If I stayed patient and asked a lot of questions, I would be able to find her. At the very least, she probably wouldn't have been able to leave town. I walked from house to house, asking about Mana. They all gave me the same look as soon as they heard that she was a foreigner. And needless to say, none of them had any information about a homeless foreign girl.
森田くんじゃない？
Someone called out to me. Why, hello there, Kyoko-san. You're as beautiful as ever.
ありがとう。夏休みは満喫してる？
Gotta love it. Every day's like Sunday. What about you, Kyoko-san?
私は学生さんのご家庭を回っているの。
Ah, home visits then.
そんなところね。
Will you be visiting my humble abode as well?
手がかかりそうな子は後回しにしているの。
She giggled. By the way, do you know a little girl named Mana?
光弘さんのところに住んでる外国人の子よね。
Ah, great. That makes this quick. I'm looking for her right now, so hurry up and find her for me. I'll beat you if you don't.
人に物を頼む態度じゃないわね。
Anyway, have you seen her?
何回かスーパーで見かけたわね。
She disappeared somewhere yesterday evening.
家で？
Well, in a sense, I doubt she has any intention of coming back.
それは大変ね。あんなに小さい子が野宿なんて。この町は穏やかだけど、夜になっても治安がいいとは言えないわ。
The countryside does have its fair share of ruffians.
この町にはいないわ。いてもちょっとマフラー外しただけのバイクとか、ノーヘルでぶん回していい気になってるチキンね。
Okay.
どうしたの？
Nothing. For some reason, the term biker chick came to mind when I looked at Kyoko-san.
見つけたら連絡するわね。
Much appreciated. 'Twas noon. I went back to check on Sachi. I soon saw that Sachi's drive hadn't diminished one bit. I snuck a peek at the canvas. It had been completely blank only hours ago. It now bore a finished draft of the painting. She was currently applying a dim shadow with blue paint. The sunflowers were beginning to evoke a sense of depth. It's noon. Care for a bite to eat?
そうだね。食べなきゃダメ。
Are you doing okay?
軽くね。
Sweat stuck to Sachi's forehead.
暑いね。
The rain from earlier had fled, leaving a clear sky in its wake. It was hot enough that one could mistake it for the tropics. I then realized my mistake. Sachi wasn't feeling well, so I should have watched over her personally until 3. Anyway, you need to get plenty of fluids.
そうするよ。
She staggered. I grabbed her hand and helped her stand up. Hey,
平気。ごめんね。
have you been feeling like this since yesterday? She nodded.
なんか洞窟行った時からちょっと疲れ気味だなとか思ってたんだけどね。
She greedily sucked in a breath. Her mental fatigue was most likely exacerbating her ill physical condition. I was ashamed of myself for believing that she had just been faking it.
まあでもやるしかないっしょ。
I mean, I would have also thought the same, Kenichi. I don't think anyone could blame you for it. But I don't know. The sunflowers seemed to be cheering her on. Sachi. I couldn't tell her to take a break. Not now.
お水もらうね。
She held her hand against her waist and drained the entire bottle in one gulp. Nice chugging. If you need anything else, just say the word.
ケンイチが欲しいかな。
Huh?
後ろで見ていてくれると嬉しいってことだよ。
Sheesh. Talk about making my heart skip a beat.
最初はいると邪魔かなと思ってたけど、誰もいないとやっぱ寂しくなっちゃうもんだね。お父さんとお母さんもいなくなっちゃった時、私一人でもやっていけるだろうとか思ってたんだけど、そのうちマナが部屋に住むようになって、いつの間にか寂しさを紛らわしてさ。二人暮らしに慣れてくると何とも思わないんだけど、マナに愛想つかされて出て行かれて、また寂しいって強く思うの。失って初めて気づくものがあるってことね。あ、今のセリフ超いい。絶対これから流行りそう。
I actually felt that it was rather cliche, but oh well.
あ、やば。とっとと書かなきゃ。今何分くらい喋ってた？
Not even 5 minutes. She hurriedly returned to her task. I'll be right behind you. I sat down a small distance away from Sachi. I could smell the soil all around me, and the summer sky seemed to be a deeper blue than ever before. However, the sights, sounds, and smells of summer could not tear my attention away from Sachi in her sunflower field. Sachi breezily moved her brush across the canvas, as if to dispel the heat of the sun. None of the usual summer haze swirled about Sachi. I could clearly see each and every detail of her painting. It was like the wind was blowing just for her. Her ponytail shook in imitation of a ballerina's practice movements whenever Sachi would rearrange herself upon the stool. Indeed, each part of her body poured all of its energy into her painting. The spectacle itself felt like a moral work of art to me. If I had just been asked to give it a title, it would have been Sunflower Girl. That's what Himawari no Shoujo is, by the way. I don't know, is she really the Sunflower Girl that I'm looking for? Probably my objective brain probably don't think so. It was almost 3. I approached Sachi from behind, feeling vaguely guilty.
3時？
Yeah.
よーし、わかった。
But how did you know?
今ね、私ね、超敏感だから。ケンイチのお腹が鳴った音も、風でひまわりが動いた瞬間も、日の光で微妙にずれた色彩も、全部キャッチしちゃうよ。
Amazing. I wouldn't mind learning how to do that myself. So how much progress did you make today? I looked at the painting. Wow, it's almost finished, isn't it? Sachi just scratched her head.
まだ全然。
Even so, I thought it looked quite magnificent already. The sunflowers on the canvas basking in the warmth of both their sun and our own. Sachi's tender, realistic shading really brought her talent to the forefront.
ここからが細かいんだよ、マジで。紙そのものを濡らしたり、水気を拭き取ったり、こすったり削ったり、あとマスキングもしなきゃ。
She started muttering a laundry list of jargon to herself. Sorry, I don't really follow you. In any case, do you have all of the tools you need?
全然大丈夫。さすがマナってところ。
Well, of course. Ask a stupid question, get a stupid answer.
明日からが山場だわ。
I see.
パッと見て全然進んでないように見えるだろうけど、怒らないでね。画面が大きいからミスをしないように慎重に書く必要があるの。
Yeah, I'll leave it to you. This didn't seem like an area that the guy who was just paying for the thing should have interfered with anyway. Sachi, sorry for interrupting you, but I spoke into the eyes of the girl who had just managed to find a sense of fulfillment. Starting today, you can paint until 7.
え？あ、本当に？
Yeah, I have no complaints if you continue as you have been.
ありがとう。
Oh, but if it gets darker and the light changes, will that interfere with your painting? Sachi closed her eyes and thought for a moment.
私の絵ってね、ちょっとだけ抽象画寄りらしいの。 パースはきっちりと描くんだけど、色塗りは結構大胆に派手に抽象的に、それでいて線描も細かかったりと、とにかく独特らしいの。もともと絵を習ってたわけじゃないから、私としては適当にやってたつもりなんだけどね。賞を取った時なんかは私が子供ってこともあって、結構それが受けたのよ。
That's a genius for you.
運が良かっただけだろうね。まあとにかく影はつけ終わったし、これからやってく細かな色塗りは頭の中に強烈なイメージが残ってるから、その通り描くだけ。
Wait a sec. Is what you're painting now? Sachi nodded, a slightly pained expression on her face.
ほんと察しがいいね。そうだよ、昔賞を取った時と全く同じ風景を描いてるの。リベンジってやつだから、たとえ夜に描いたって昼間の風景を描くことができるよってそりゃ言い過ぎかな。いや、私ならできるっしょ。
I see. Great. I thought things might go south for a second there.
じゃああと4時間頑張るぞーっと。
She puffed out her chest. The evening sun had disappeared behind the mountain line. The sunflowers were now completely drenched in scarlet, but Sachi's brush did not falter. If one looked at Sachi's painting, they would discover that the colors she was using indeed differed from those found in nature. To my eyes, one particular point of abstraction was the way the painting was almost divided by a sharp sudden shift in color. As I examined it more closely, however, I found that shift was most likely meant to represent the horizon. Although the real sky was of course blue, the sky that Sachi had painted infringed upon the yellow of the sunflowers with its green tint. The impression I got from the sunflowers themselves was a sense that they could reach even to the heavens, I suppose. Well, nothing an artless guy like me would know. It was quite the provocative piece of work.
だいたいそんな感じだよ。
Huh?
ブツブツ聞こえてるよ。なかなか感性豊かじゃん。
Sorry for disturbing you.
いや、おかげでだいたい方向性は間違えてなさそうだってことが分かったから。
By the way, it's almost 7. Sachi's legs gave out on her as soon as she stood up. I prop her up immediately.
立ちくらみっぽい。
Her breathing was labored and her pulse was unsteady. Her cheeks also bore the telltale redness of a fever. She was clearly ill.
いやー、知恵熱ってやつかな。こんなにマジになったのも久しぶりだから。じゃあまた明日ここで起こしてね。
I'll make sure you sleep in a nice warm bed tonight.
ありがとう。
I said sleep, but neither her fatigue nor her drowsiness would abate. Good night. Sachi took her medicine. Power slowly left her body. We didn't have any time to spare. No matter how difficult it might have been, she had to do this no matter what. Because we only have 3 days left. I lowered Sachi onto the bed and draped the covers over her. Her night sweats were particularly severe tonight. I wiped her off with a towel again and again, but she just wouldn't stop. Her arms also shivered off and on, likely because of her fever. Sachi. I sat down and took hold of one of her small hands. These hands, these fingers were what could create masterpieces. Hang in there. I stood up, felt with a renewed sense of determination. I needed to search for Mana. I headed into the center of the town for the time being. Even in a country town, it was the most highly trafficked area. I immediately put my James Bond-esque method of gathering information into action. It's been way too hot recently, hasn't it?
そうですね。
Hey! The man with the ridiculously long bangs in front of me was indeed Hisono.
どうしたんだ？マナさんが家出でもしたのか？
That's astoundingly accurate.
ほう、予想通り。あの子は天才だったな。
The hell are you talking about this time?
あの子みたいな天才は君らみたいな凡人とは一緒に暮らせないものだよ。
So you're telling me that you predicted that she would run away from home?
遅かれ早かれね。
Some pretty impressive insight on your part. If you're telling me the truth, you could be a special high-class individual.
なりたくもないよ。
He looked a bit disgruntled for a moment.
発信機でも取り付けておけばよかったのに。
Transmitter?
どうせ持ってるんだろ。非構成人を管理するために必要なアイテムだと思うがね。
Well, my Duralumin case did, in fact, contain one of them. I think you've been watching too many spy movies. I couldn't very well reveal military secrets, could I?
そうかもね。と、クールに笑う磯野だった。まったく、こいつはどうして無駄にミステリーを残すんだろうな。
Don't give me that shit. I'm going to waterboard you. What the fuck?
髪を抜くのだけは勘弁して。
He shuddered at the thought. Anyway, please contact me if you find Mana.
森田くんの携帯にかければいいのかな。
Hey, I couldn't let that one slip by. How do you know I have a cell phone? It was intended for emergency use only. I'm positive that you haven't seen me using it.
やだな。今時の若者が携帯を持っていないはずがないじゃないか。いやいや、気にしないでよ。いつもの軽口さ。そんな怖い顔しないでくれよ。いや、この間ね、夢の中でさ、生意気な妖精が僕の携帯をいぶかしげに眺めてたんだよ。妖精は言った。その携帯どこよ？僕は言った。どこも。え。
You had gone nuttier than usual. Whatever, come to Sachi's room if you find anything.
了解したよ。伝書鳩のシューマッハを使いに飛ばすとしよう。
I hope he didn't actually have a carrier pigeon. See ya. I left the Sona behind. What a crazy guy. I came across an unusual sight at the school while aimlessly wandering around. Under construction. There was a sign at the front gate. A bunch of trucks were parked around the school grounds too. I managed to catch a worker who was preparing to head back inside. Excuse me, do you have a second? I called out to the stern-looking, sunburned man. He looked to be around 40. What manner of construction is this?
あんた学生さん？
Yup, a brightly shining transfer student. The man appraised me with each word I spoke. Are you doing interior design or something?
すまんが詳しいことは言えないんだ。
In other words, it's off limits for the time being. I read ahead.
ああ、お上の指示でね、夏休みが終わるまでは要件のない学生さんはここに来ちゃダメだそうだ。
If I had to guess, Pops has probably ordered it.
今日の朝もここで寝てた女の子を追っ払ったところなんだよ。
Was the girl a really smart foreigner who referred to herself as Mana?
知り合いかい？
Bingo. Did she say where she was going?
いや、そういうのは聞いてないな。
Wow, she was living on the streets at the school? What time exactly did you discover her? What was she wearing? Did she have any belongings with her? Do you know why she might have been sleeping here?
ちょっと待ってくれ。よく覚えてないよ。
Please, she's a very important friend of mine. I bowed my head.
アルバイトさせてくれとか言われたよ。大変だろうね。外国人遺留児は。
But you couldn't have employed her as physical labor, right?
理髪そうな子で洗濯や料理が得意だと言ってたけど、うちじゃあちょっとな。
Would she be wandering around looking for a job? In that case, the shopping district would be the best place to look.
一応行きつけの食堂を紹介しておいたよ。
What a great guy. Thank you very much. Please, let me call you boss. The man laughed.
食堂はスーパーのすぐ近くにあるよ。まあ 雇ってもらえるかどうかはわからんがね。
I'm in your debt. I thanked him once more and left. The night grew darker. The streetlights began lighting up one by one. I found a diner the man had told me about without difficulty. They seemed to be closed, so I knocked on their shutter. Sorry for the trouble. I have a question for you. After some time, an old woman who looked to be in a rather disagreeable mood opened up the shutter. Sorry to disturb you like this. Did a foreign girl going by the name of Mana come by here?
あんた誰？
I'm a special high-class individual cadet. My name is Morita. I decided to brandish my title.
特別？ごめんなさいね。
That was the magic word after all. Did she come by here?
昼頃にいきなり店に来て働かせてほしいと。
You refused her.
まあ見ての通りしがない食堂でして夫婦でやっていけてますから。
Did she say where she was going?
いえ、ちょうどその時に
She hesitated.
あなたと同じ特別高等人の方が見えられましてね。
Pops! I was shocked.
その方が少女を引き連れて行ってしまいましたよ。
I see. Thank you very much. I spun around. Leaving the bewildered old woman behind me, I ran my ass off toward the school. I had returned. It looked like the worker's shift was already over. Sir, I want to ask you about the girl named Mana.
こちらで預かっている。
Because she's viewed as a valuable export. Kozuki closed his eyes and offered me a slight nod. But how did you know that she was in a shopping district?
簡単な予測だ。身寄りのない少女は職を求めて商店街をうろつく。
How did you know that she had left home?
大根京子氏から学園宛てにそのような連絡を受けた。
I see. I had been just one step too slow. I doubted that he would let me see her. We have 3 days left, correct?
正確には4日後の午前9時までに入金がない場合は、当初の予定通り少女を大使に引き渡す。
Yup. 3 days was all we had left. I decided that it would be prudent to set things up so that I could send the money immediately via my cell phone. I asked for the account number and then left the room. I huddled up to Sachi after I returned to the room. Her usually beautiful sleeping face was now marred by agony. She was probably having a nightmare. I changed her shirt many times and laid towel after towel across her forehead. She had never suffered this much while stopped before.
ごめん、下手なもん見せて。怒らないで。
Sachi.
私、また書きに行くからね。ごめん。サボってたから。いや、そんなこと言わないで。
Her entire body was trembling. Her teeth chattered obscenely. I could do nothing but take her hand in mine.
行かないで。マナ。
Tears fell from her eyes.
一人は寂しいよ。寂しいんだよ。
It was 7 a.m. Sachi had just woken up.
おはよ
Her pallor had given way to rosy cheeks. Nausea hit her hard and fast. She covered her mouth with her hand and directed her face downwards. You okay? I let her lean against me for support, but she would clearly need a lot more than that. She would be able to recover if she could just get some sleep. I rubbed her back. Sachi seemed to be suffering from a seasonal fever.
自業自得だよね、マジで。
Her current lifestyle would probably only exacerbate her ailment.
こんな時に風邪だなんて、バカみたいじゃん。
Take some medicine. I handed her some top-notch medicine and a glass of water. I was certain that her fatigue was atrocious, since she hadn't gotten to take a nap yesterday.
ありがとう、本当に。ケンイチがいなかったら絶対めげてるよ。
I haven't done anything.
夢に出てきたよ。
I did.
私を助けるために一生懸命洞窟の岩を砕いてた。
Oh yeah, I guess I did do something like that.
あの時さ、ケンイチはあのおっかない人に殴られた傷が治りきってなかったじゃん。なのに私ったら自分のことばっかりで無理やり洞窟に誘っちゃってさ。
No, you may have invited me, but I decided to go on my own. Please don't let that worry you.
そうかな。そう言ってくれるとちょっとは気が楽になるよ。
She laughed weakly. Don't give me that sort of look. If you're really the energetic type, then cheer up a bit. Sheesh. Commoners get spoiled so easily. Listen up. I'm still determined to beat that spoiled rotten attitude of yours into shape. As you very well know, humans are just like stocks. They can rise and fall. Sure, you might be fine now. You're all serious because you're worrying about mana. But once you clear this up, you're gonna fall back into the same lazy lifestyle.
そんなこと絶対にない。
I'm sorry, but I can't believe you. You're like the girl who cried work at this point. If you get what I'm saying, then hurry up and finish your painting. I don't care if you have a fever or if you haven't slept. Your only option is finishing that painting.
わかってる。
There was a glint of something like resolve in Sachi's eyes. You're gonna show him all for calling you a plagiarist, right?
わかってる。
You're gonna get mana back, right?
わかってるって。
Sachi clenched her fist and turned to the canvas. Her rigid posture exuded dignity. Man, I really was an overbearing asshole, huh? The wind was stronger than it had been yesterday, so the heat didn't feel as severe. That said, the sunlight was as powerful as ever. From time to time, Sachi would double over and cough painfully, but she would always immediately correct her posture and resume painting. I was in awe of her determination.
森田さん。
Oh, hey, Nachan. When did you get here? I guess I had been so engrossed in watching Sachi that I hadn't noticed Natsumi's arrival.
さっちゃん、まだ絵を描いてるんですね。
Yup. She's in serious mode right now.
そうみたいですね。声をかけるのをためらってしまいますね。
So what's up? Taking your usual walk?
いえ、さっちゃんの様子を見に来たんです。これ、差し入れです。
She sat it back from the supermarket down on the ground. There was a bottle of tea inside. Thanks. If you don't mind, would you like to watch her work as well? She gets pretty lonely.
はい、わかりました。
Natsumi sat down, quite some distance away from me. Oh, sorry. You'd have some other business to attend to.
いえいえ、いつも暇してますから。
Do you have any plans this summer?
特にないです。
I see. Our conversation was about as fruitful as usual, but I didn't intend to work at her right now, anyway. After a while, Natsumi muttered something to herself.
すごいな、さっちゃん。羨ましい。頑張って。
The sun had risen magnificently. Natsumi stared at Sachi like she was trying to bore a hole into her. Quite the change from her usual airheadedness. I'm thinking that I should let her take a break.
はい、少しは休まないとダメですね。
Sachi, I want you to take a break for about 10 minutes. Sachi dipped her brush into her water jug. I figured she was going to take a break like I had said, but she just started cleaning the brush off instead. Your concentration could suffer if you don't take a break.
いい、
Sachi,
時間がないから。
well, she had a point. She had mentioned yesterday that it would be slow going from here on out, and the current state of her painting seemed to confirm that.
夏美にありがとうって言っておいて。
So she had noticed that Nasumi was here. Alright, if things get tough, tell me. What the hell was I saying? Of course it was tough on her. I'll leave the tea here.
ごめんね。あんまり芳しくないから、もうちょっと霧のいいところまでやらせて。
If you say so.
さっちゃん、頑張りますね。
I just hope that she's not pushing herself too much. I was starting to get a little uneasy. If Sachi recklessly forced herself to finish the painting, the end result wouldn't necessarily be satisfactory.
考え事ですか？
Yup. The usual risk management and all.
森田さんは悩み事が多そうですね。
Well, it's not like I intend to. I just end up taking everything in a bad direction as soon as I start thinking about it. Like, I'm kind of unsettled about the fact that Sachi could just up and collapse at any moment.
なんだか私まで不安になってきました。
Well, Sachi definitely had an abnormal sort of willpower. She most likely would not collapse.
何か私たちにできることはないですかね。
Our job is to create an environment that allows her to paint to the best of her ability.
具体的には？
Well, there's really not much left for us to do. Sachi launched into another one of her cuffing fits. She looked to be in danger of falling off the stool for a second, but soon recovered and went back to painting.
さっちゃん、
Natsumi's voice was distraught.
一体何がさっちゃんをあそこまで駆り立てるんですか？具合が悪いなら後日改めて絵を描けばいいのに。
Well, some stuff happened.
それはわかります。あんなに真剣なさっちゃんは見たことないですから。
Is this your first time seeing Sachi look so alive?
生き生きと。
Well, that's just how I put it.
リスク管理を言う割には意外と建設的な見方をするんですね。
You said that you envied her, right?
ええ。
I do too. Sachi's in the middle of creating a moment that she can look back on with pride, knowing that she gave it her very best. I'd say that most such moments involve measuring up to the task presented to you with nothing but your own ability. Pops had told me that long ago. So there's nothing left for us to do. That might sound depressing, but it's the truth.
じゃあさっちゃんを信じましょう。
She'll finish that painting whether or not we believe in her.
根拠は？
Oh, just the feeling. As soon as I said that, Natsumi gave me one of her rare smiles.
そういうのを信じるって言うんじゃないんですか？
The summer afternoon soon passes by. Sachi had told me that she would take a break when she got to a stopping point. But that never happened. Natsumi and I remained silent amid the summer heat. By the time Isuna and One arrived, in the middle of a fight, it was already past 3. The sunflower shadows were beginning to droop across the gravel road.
だから言っただろ、サチさんたちはここにいるって。
川辺じゃなかったか。
What are you guys doing here?
お見舞いに来たんだよ。
応援でしょ。
サチさんはお元気？これは軽口が叩けるような雰囲気じゃなさそうだね。
Isona took one look at Sachi and shut up.
磯野は邪魔する気満々だったんだよ。
It seems so. He was carrying a ceremonial bouquet in one of his hands.
サチさんにはひまわりこそふさわしいな。
A hint of nostalgia twinkled in his eyes.
こんにちは。
Natsumi, who had been sitting off to the side, suddenly joined in.
みんなで集まるのは恩赦祭の時以来だね。
Why are you here, One? I thought I told you not to come, since you might end up helping Sachi out.
ああ、忘れてた。でもやっぱり友達だしね。
I see.
例のマナさんは見つかったのかい？
Yeah. She's in old man Hosuke's custody.
それはリアクションに困るね。それで良かったのかい？
I shook my head. Sachi's painting for Mana's sake. Everyone stared at me. Sorry. I can't give you many details. Just know that Sachi is going to do this, even if it means working herself to death over it.
では僕らも死ぬ気で応援するとしよう。
何かできることないかな。
She asked me the same thing that Natsumi had.
さっちゃんが寂しくないように見守ってあげましょう。
Everyone nodded in silent agreement. We sat down together behind Sachi and waited for her to finish her painting.
サッチ、すごいね。
素敵だ。
ですね。
Sachi hadn't stopped for even a moment. She hadn't broken her concentration even once. She refused to lose her fatigue, lack of sleep, or illness. All of us were awestruck by the mere sight of her prodigious effort. So when Sachi put down her brush and rose from her stool, we all got up to congratulate her.
みんなしてどうしたの？
She gave us a wary smile.
サッチ、できたの？まだ。
She hung her head in frustration.
正直に言うけど、今日はほとんど何もしてないようなもんなの。あんなに集中してたのに、どうしてもいまいちしっくりこないんだよね。
She broke into another coughing fit.
でもみんなありがとう。
邪魔じゃなかったですか？
全然、むしろやらなきゃって気持ちになった。私って根がダメだからさ、みんながいなかったらサボってたかも。冗談でしょ？いや、たくさん前科あるから。絵を完成させるまでは少なくともケンイチとマナは私のこと許さないでしょ。
It's not a matter of forgiving you or not.
でも許してほしいんだよ。
She looked directly into my eyes. Her own eyes were filled with purity to the point of belying her weakness.
さて、僕はそろそろ盲導犬のステファニーに餌をやらないと。
私もそろそろ勉強しないとお母さんに怒られる。あ、ごめんね、なんか雰囲気暗くしちゃって。
All of us, including Isona, were taken aback.
まさかサチさんが人に気を使うとはね。
サッチ、あんまり無理しちゃダメだよ。熱でもあるんじゃない？
She does, like I said.
ああ、そっか。何よ、私なんか変かな？いいと思うよ。ね、ひなたさん。びっくりしました。
Respect piled up in Sachi's direction. It's almost 7. She sighed grandiosely, I think, and allowed herself to relax.
みんなマジでありがとね。おかげで今日もサボらず絵を描けたよ。明日も来るね。私も。
僕も来るよ。それじゃ。
Later, the three of them left with smiles on their faces.
ケンイチもたまには休んだら？
I sleep like a baby every night.
嘘。夜通し私の手を握ってくれてたんでしょ？
How did you know?
あ、やっぱ当たった？そんな予感がしたんだよ。
You should be worrying about yourself instead of me.
そうだね。明日には治っていてくれることを祈るよ。
Sachi looked at the medicine sitting in the palm of her hand.
まったく時間の無駄だよ。やりたいことがあるときって本当に時間が惜しく感じるものだね。まあ全部私のせいか。
She lazily raised the medicine to her lips. She shivered. Her condition likely wouldn't improve much by tomorrow, since she wouldn't actually be getting any rest. Since her medicine did not relieve drowsiness or fatigue, she had essentially been awake for 2 days straight already.
こういう時に誰かがそばにいてくれると落ち着くよね。今日も手握っててよ。
Her cheeks were bright red.
それくらい甘えてもいいかな。
Sachi shut her eyes in relief as soon as I gave her my hand. I gently laid her body on the ground. I put all of her tools in order, then carried Sachi home. She seemed to be having another nightmare. She shivered from head to toe, even though she was buried in blankets. Her body twisted and turned, trying to fight off a chill that just wouldn't abate. I injected her with an antibiotic I had found inside of my case, but it didn't do much. It probably didn't work well in combination with the medicine she was taking.
マナ。
Her utterances were mostly incoherent, but that name kept coming up. Mana, painting's finished. Mana, what do you think? Mana, what do you think of the painting? How is it? Do you think it's bad? Forgive me. It looked like she was unable to get the mana within her dreams to acknowledge her work, no matter what she did. I wiped her body down with a towel after listening to her for a bit. I gently took hold of her hand. It almost felt like it was getting thinner. You've only had enough time to sleep. 12 hours in a day. That's way too short for someone trying to do what you're doing. But at least Sachi had finally begun to understand just how important time was. I decided to send in her obligation cancellation papers immediately after she finished the painting. I was gonna have to write a lot. Looked like we were both gonna have to pull... Looked like we were both gonna be pulling some all-nighters. I got started on the paperwork, holding Sachi's hand all the while. When I looked up, I realized that the insects outside weren't making noises anymore. I must have been concentrating so hard that I hadn't noticed them to begin with.
今日は絵は描かない？
One's drowsy voice drifted toward me from the telephone receiver. Yeah, make sure you let everyone know. You're the chairman after all. With that, I hung up the phone. Talk about your unpredictable weather. Rain was beating against the windows like there was no tomorrow. Thick gray clouds cast an air of ominous portent across the landscape outside. It was 7 a.m. We had only 2 days left, counting today, and this rain wasn't really helping the mood any. Sachi sat up. Sachi. I rubbed her shoulders, propping her up in the process.
おはよ
And you stand.
う。もちろん。
Hey, you idiot! Don't push yourself. She simply wasn't up to the task today. I'd been with her all day yesterday, so I could tell. Are you feeling lightheaded?
なんだか健一の声が健一じゃないような気も。
Her fever had heightened in severity.
あれ？
What?
私どうして部屋にいるの？
She shot me a gaze filled with contempt. It's raining. That aside, you're not up to it right now.
休めってこと？
Yeah.
悪いけどそんな暇ない。
She grabbed her bag of painting supplies. I grab her hand in turn. Now hold on just a second. It's raining, yes. Won't the colors start running if the papers get wet?
それもそうか。
Her words were filled with rancor. Time to Google what that is. Angry feeling of hatred, okay. For some reason, Wikipedia showed me something about something from Star Wars. What the fuck? Okay. That was weird. I don't watch Star Wars, by the way.
じゃあせめてもう少しひまわりを眺めてイメージを固めてくる。
A sharp refutation, but its edge was dulled by the fevered sighs running through it. You should really get some sleep instead.
ダメだって。休んでる時間なんてないの。
Her stance now stood in complete opposition to her stance from the last time it had rained. I think she's afraid. Like, when you're doing something ridiculous, right? You get adrenaline to your brain, which is like, you know, it's just chemicals that's going through your brain. I'm guessing she's afraid that the adrenaline rushing to her brain is gonna run out if she starts resting.
こっから先はひらめきが必要だから少しでも風景に触れていたいの。
Of course, then again, it could also because of the pressure in time. But aren't you drawing the view from a sunny day?
雨に打たれるひまわりを見れば何かひらめくかもしれないじゃん。
You're the one who's gonna get pounded by the rain. Do you have any idea how bad your fever is?
いや、私としては大したことないから。
The direct method had proven ineffective. I would have to resort to trying to persuade her. Sachi, you're amazing. I can't believe how far you've come in just a few days. But you need to take today's situation into account. It looks to me like you're reaching your limit. This will all happen for nothing if you end up collapsing, right? Just take a break for a little bit, okay? How about 3 hours? Yeah, just 3 hours. Maybe the rain will have cleared up by then. I really think this is the wisest course of action. I took care not to make my explanation too overbearing.
ケンイチ、
One look into her eyes was enough to tell me that all of my previous words had been completely wasted.
ごめんね、苦労かけて。
She smiled.
心配かけてごめんね。
Why are you apologizing to me? I couldn't help but falter a bit.
よくわかんないけど、ケンイチは優しいなって。私みたいなのに構ってくれて嬉しいなって。なんかあったかいなって。よくわかんないこと感じるの。
Sense.
頭ぼーっとしてるやつのたわごとだと思ってよ。
She stumbled her way to the door. She had no intention of asking for my help. She had no intention of lending an ear to my half-assed pleadings.
行ってくるね。ケンイチこそ昨日も寝てないんだから休んでなよ。いろいろ言ってくれてありがとうね。でもさ、
Oh,
私
sorry.
絵描くの好きだから。いろいろ言ってくれてありがとうね。でもさ、なんだかんだ言って結局さ。
That smile blew away everything I thought I had known. I've been trained quite thoroughly in the past, all for the purpose of becoming a special high-class individual. Among this training was the study of psychology, and of the necessary techniques to manage and manipulate people. So maybe somewhere in the back of my head, I'd been thinking that managing a couple of girls in a hick town like this would be no problem. But that wasn't it. Sachi hadn't been the one taking me lightly. I had been the one underestimating Sachi. She had won a prestigious award as a mere child. She had managed to keep on living all by herself after her parents died in a revolt. Who the hell was I to make light of her? Wait, Sachi. I would have to start over from the beginning.
なに？顔洗ってないんだからあんま見ないでよ。
Let's go. I'll carry you. You can sleep for as long as it takes to get there, at least. The sunflowers bathed in the dull rain.
健一ありがとう。
I opened the umbrella and we huddled under it together while watching the sunflowers. I caught myself gazing at her profile. Her face was haggard, but her eyes shone with a brilliant light. They darted to and fro, fluttered open and shut, and focused here and there. I couldn't begin to imagine just what she was painting inside of her head. Those eyes of hers didn't waver from their course even in the midst of a coughing fit.
ああ、なるほどね。
Hmm?
そっか。
Something clicked,
このままじゃダメだってことが分かった。
which means...
何かがね、足りないっぽいよ。
Sorry, I don't know what happened to my voice there. I see. I just nodded and listened to her abstract explanation.
赤、青、黄色、ひまわり。なんだろう。わからない。
Hmm? You okay?
焦らない、焦らないと。
Hey, Sachi. Sorry if this is just me just talking out of my ass, but I ingratiated myself before her. Ingratiated? Bring oneself into favor with someone, okay. Well, first, have you decided on a title for the piece? Just then... What is it? What's wrong?
決めてなかったよ。テーマも決めずに書いてた。だからか。
Laughter coursed through her body.
危なかったよ。このまま書いてたらいつまで経っても完成しなかったと思う。
Really?
いや、私さ、昔と同じ構図で書いてるって言ったじゃん。
Yeah.
リベンジのつもりだったんだけどさ、それって間違ってたわけだよ。
What do you mean exactly? Please explain in a way such that a dumbass like myself can understand.
つまりね、ガキの頃の自分と戦ってもしょうがないってこと。技術は完全に衰えてるし、感性も変わってるのに、どうして同じような絵を描けるっていうのよ。
Oh ho ho.
ああ、やっちゃったよ。なんかずれていくなって思ってたんだよね。
So, what are you gonna do now?
考え方そのものがずれてたのよ。賞を取ろうとしてどうするのよ。
I see. I think I'm starting to get what you mean.
子供の頃の恐れを知らない感性があればまだしも、ダラダラしてた私が今さらご立派な絵を描こうだなんて、そりゃ無理な話よ。
But the current you has something that the old you didn't.
そう、マナがいるじゃん。マナに帰ってきてもらうために絵を描いてるわけじゃん。
Her voice dripped with purity.
タイトルはマナで決定。
Not a trace of greed or ambition was to be found within those words. Just one earnest, naive desire. I guess it was a good idea to come out here after all, eh?
早速帰って描き直すよ。
You've seen enough?
あとはだいたい頭の中の作業だよ。もちろん景色を見ながらの方がいいけど、雨じゃしょうがないしね。昨日まで描いてた絵を見ながらまた一から描き直すよ。
Will you make it in time? Can't you just add stuff on top of what you already did?
色は塗る順番が決まっててさ、下手にやり直したりすると余計に時間がかかったり完成度が落ちたりするのよ。大丈夫、私下絵を描くのは早いから、きっと一日でも描ききれると思う。
I see. Oh, so that's why you said you could finish it in a day.
そうそう、やる気の問題ね。あとはいいモチーフに恵まれるかどうか。
Alright, then I'll leave it to you. Sachi cracked her knuckles with a look of satisfaction on her face. Cold germs were no match for her determination. I carried Sachi back to the room. She woke up shortly afterwards. Hey, You should eat something first.
うん。
I gave her some preserved food, left over from the caving expedition.
ありがとう。ついでにあの超まずいジュースも飲ませてよ。
Seriously?
今ならゴキブリだって食べてみせるさ。
She laughed fearlessly and bit into the ration, even though she probably didn't have the appetite for it. You're going to sketch in here. Should I clean things up a bit? Sachi indicated that she would be painting in the corridor. Then I'll get it ready. I set up her easel and stool for her. Sachi soon emerged into the hall, carrying the painting she had been working on yesterday. What are you going to do with that one?
基本的な構図はこのままだから、途中までは模写しようと思ってね。
I see. So it's up to your imagination after that.
マナをね、画面の中央に乗っけてやろうと思ってさ。
Sounds good. She shouldn't be too hard to imagine either.
でしょ？
Sachi suddenly clasped a hand to her stomach. Hey,
いや、平気。なんかさっき食べたのがお腹に来たみたいだね。吐いたら余計疲れるしね。
she gritted her teeth and took a deep breath.
それじゃあ、一丁やりますか。
Sachi grabbed a pencil and sat down on a stool. I sat and watched Sachi in silence. It was like she was trying to drown out the sound of the rain with the scribbling of her pencil. Nothing disturbed her concentration. The other residents of the dorm didn't so much as speak outside of their rooms. That said, I was unable to conceal my unease. Sachi had gone several days without sleeping. Working so fiercely wasn't healthy. No matter how optimistic they may be, humans have limits. The chill brought about by the prolonged rain was surely taking a toll on Sachi. People like to say that they're not physically capable of something as an excuse, but I don't think that would be the case here. However, in the end, the only person capable of understanding what was going through Sachi's head was Sachi herself. It was presumptuous for someone as healthy as I was to say that he even began to understand how rough it was on her. Sachi ended up spending about 2 hours on the sketch, then started preparing her paints. She adjusted the various pigments of the new palette she had selected. But just then, I don't really remember what happened after that. I just know that I rushed over to her, that I looked into her agonized face, that I panicked at the sight of the spilled paints, and that I had been frantically shouting her name. She lay crumpled against the wall. Sachi, don't give up on me now. She was trembling all over. What sort of pain is it? I took her right arm, the arm she had been holding a pencil with just moments ago.
いや、なんかビキビキって。
Sounds like you pulled a muscle. I felt around her upper arm. Indeed, her muscles were pulled taut. She had probably injured it by letting it get cold out in the rain and then suddenly forcing it into action.
いや、マジでいきなり酷使しちゃったからね。くそ。
She couldn't manage to choke back her tears. Take a deep breath. I massaged her contracted muscles in an attempt to warm them back up. Cold sweat ran down her brow. Don't worry, it'll stop hurting soon.
だんだん楽になってきた。
Hold on just a sec. I'll bring some hot water.
ケンイチは物知りだね。
Does it still hurt? I submerged Sachi's arm in a wash basin I had filled with hot water.
さっきはマジで目の前に星が見えたけどね。
You should rest it for a while. Please, don't give me that look. Talent is worthless if your body can't handle it.
しばらくってどれくらい？
The rest of the day at least.
そんな間に合わないよ。
Sachi, please. If you end up tearing a muscle, it's not going to be pretty.
でも
Sachi's composure fled.
今日中にせめて大まかな部分だけでも塗っちゃわないと明日の12時間だけじゃ。
I'm sorry, but...
そんな風に頭を下げられたら。
I'm sorry. I tried to soothe her raging heart with a gesture of sincerity.
分かったよ。全部私のせいだもんね。今まで少しずつ書いていればこんなことにならなかったんだもんね。だから明日でやるしかないね。ごめん、心配かけて。前雨が降った時さ、私すごい不機嫌だったじゃん。 体調がマジで悪くてさ、眠くてさ、なんか八つ当たりしないと気が済まなかったっていうか、どうかしてたと思う。
Well, you're pretty mellow now, and your physical condition is even worse.
いや、全然ダメだよ。そもそも本当のプロはこういう時に体壊したりしないもん。ゴールを決めるまで骨折に気づかないサッカー選手とか、ツアー中に風邪をひかないミュージシャンとか。
Those are just canned novelties. Do you know just how many pros there are out there who had to quit what they were doing after some incident? I didn't say what I was thinking, of course.
私、天才とか呼ばれたことあるけど、全然そんなことない。弱い。
She spat the words out.
私は弱い。
She wrapped her left arm around her right, as if to curse its uselessness.
だからやらなきゃ。
You should get some sleep until 7. That way you'll feel better. You'll be better rested for tomorrow. She took a glance at her painting. Monochrome in its entirety.
ごめんね。
The next word to come out of Sachi's mouth was the name of the picture. Sachi couldn't get any sleep. She just tossed and turned over and over in bed. I couldn't begin to imagine how frustrated she was.
ケンイチ、
Go to sleep.
なんか興奮しちゃって、すごい眠いはずなのに眠れない時ってあるでしょ。そんな感じ。
Just close your eyes and meditate.
ねえ、ケンイチ。
I just told her to sleep.
明日でひょっとしてケンイチともお別れなのかな。
By farewell, you mean?
なんかたくさん書類あるよ。
This is a report containing a record of your actions up to the completion of your painting. I'm going to apply for the nullification of your obligation.
私、そんなに頑張ってないよ。
It's not true at all. Think about how much money you're earning with this one painting. If the people with the capability to give you your time back judge that you can continue contributing to society in such a way, then your obligation is done and dusted.
私、またダラダラし始めるかもよ。またネットカジノにハマって寂しさを紛らわすために誰かと暮らして強引に洞窟探検に誘ったり。
Sachi, please have a little more faith in yourself.
でもケンイチの言う通り、私って根がサボり屋だからさ。今はいいけど、絵を描いてまたちょっと慣れてきた時に今と同じ気持ちでいられるかどうか。
The fact that you're starting to think like that now, Sachi, means that you're going to change. I wanted to tell her that someone like her would never do something like that. But I had seen too many people lose themselves to fame and fortune to do that. So no encouraging lies came out of my mouth. Talk about a real bastard. only caring about telling the truth at times like this.
健一は私の監督が終わったら次は10日とか夏美の面倒を見るんでしょ？
Yeah. I'll be in town for a while though, so I'll try to make some time to check up on you.
本当はずっと私のそばで私のマネージャーをしてほしいんだけどね。
Well, your obligation won't be cleared immediately. There's a probationary period, kind of like what you get with suspended sentences in those sci-fi novels. So we'll at least see each other off. We'll see each other then.
そっか。世話になるね。
Hey, you should be getting to sleep.
すぐ寝るから。
Sachi just stared at my face for a while.
健一を無理やり部屋に誘ってよかったよ。
Indeed, I'm pretty happy to have a place to stay, myself. But I can't help but wonder if my acceptance of your proposal reflected poorly on my degree of common sense.
タバコやめた方がいいよ。
I guess smoking inside the room was kind of pushing it.
森健ブームももう終わりだね。
I'm going to be honest with you, okay? You suck at determining booms.
そんなことないって。健一が遅れてるだけだよ。
I couldn't help but laugh.
洞窟探検やばかったけど楽しかったよ。
I was pretty impressed by your athletic performance.
溝にはまった時さ、マジで健一を疑ったよ。
I thought I'd try giving you a bit of a scare.
いや、あれも私が勝手に先に進んだせいだしね。ごめんね、わがままし放題で。
Nah, that's your selling point.
テンション高いかな。
You're not very tense right now, though.
はしゃいでいられる状況じゃないしね。
She paused for a light coughing fit.
わがままついでに、もう一個だけ最後のわがまましていいかな。
What is it?
いや、みんなには悪いんだけどさ。
Everyone?
明日は健一がいいの。
Huh?
いや、だから私ってマジで健一が好きだからさ、明日は二人きりがいいなって。みんなにも一日中あんなクソ暑い場所にいさせるのも悪いしね。夏美は暑さで倒れたこともあるみたいだし、10日もお母さんから言われてる用事がたくさんあるだろうし。
Alright, sure. I'll give them a call. What an embarrassing prospect.
包み隠さず、サチが二人きりがいいって言ったからって伝えてね。なんか後ろめたいから。
Got it. I needed to think of a roundabout way to say that.
それじゃあ、また明日ね。
Go get him.
ありがとう。今までありがとう。ずっとそばにいてくれて、見捨てないでいてくれて。まだ絵は完成していないけど、私絵が完成した瞬間にぶっ倒れそうだから先に言っておくね。
She slowly relaxed her body.
本当にお世話になりました。
She bowed her head, leaving behind a memory of a smile that was as clear as a beautiful summer morning. And then Sachi slept. Her words to me a second ago could have been compared to those of a prisoner about to be released. But the words criminal or prisoner didn't apply to Sachi. His society had overstepped its boundaries when it had made laziness into a crime. Sorry for not being able to do anything for you. Tomorrow, you're gonna be free. I'll make sure of it. I clutched Sachi's tiny hand while muttering my usual soliloquy. The sound of the rain was now very distant indeed. You know, to be honest, Kenichi, with how many NEETs there are in the world now, making laziness into a crime might not be the worst idea ever. It made you wonder where yesterday's rain had gone to. Apparently, it had just been the harbinger of some very fine weather indeed. The sun had begun to peek out above the mountain range. The sky was already the deep blue color of summer. It was the dawn of the most important day of Sachi's life. 7 a.m. The vivid golden sunlight was awe-inspiring as ever. What was left of yesterday's rain fell in rivulets from the sunflowers. The smell of wet soil would soon dissipate, only to be replaced with the overpowering aroma of the flowers.
いい朝だね。
Sachi stretched and said hello to the day. Her facial muscles were slackened with fatigue, but her tone of voice and vivid motions belied an inner strength. I had already completed the preparations for her.
よーし、今日という今日はビリッと頑張るよ。
She trod lightly over to the canvas. All I could do now was wait. I stood watching her with my arms crossed, as if I sought to show piety. 9 a.m. Sachi must have been continuing from where she had left off yesterday. Her pencil was positively dancing across the canvas. She would occasionally sneak a glance at the picture she had set up beside her, the one she had been working on until yesterday. She coughed over and over, like there was something stuck in her throat that she just couldn't get rid of. But as usual, her pencil didn't cease its movements even once. 11 a.m. The sunflower field was now garbed in the heat of midday. Sachi, are you going to eat? She shook her head slightly. Her eyebrows were arched. Her cheeks were flushed. Beads of sweat played upon her brow. Sachi was in a hurry. She had wanted to finish up the less specific tasks yesterday, which meant that she did not have much time left. Her painting had colors here and there, mostly in the darker parts, but it was still mostly monochrome. Sachi removed a brush from the picture she had set on the ground beside her, scattering droplets of water into the sunlight around her. She was trying to wipe away her own anxiety with the strokes of her brush. 1 p.m. My cell phone rang. I was worried that it might have disrupted Sachi, but that proved to be a needless concern. Morita here. Is it finished? Kozuki Masaomi asked me just one thing. Not yet. There's still time. Kozuki told me flatly that he would bring Mana here at precisely 8 p.m. If the painting was not complete by then, he would leave town with Mana immediately. I believe the deadline was 9 tomorrow, yes?
お前がその気になれば中途半端な打作を買い取ることもできるのだったな。
No, I would never do something like that. That would be an insult to both Sachi and Mana.
光弘は妹のように可愛がっていた少女のために絵を描いているのだろう。
That's correct. I will not be purchasing the finished product if Mana is unhappy with it. Kozuki let out a rare sigh of admiration.
実に楽しみだ。
And then he hung up, just like that. I was already using the phone, so I decided to make sure that the money was ready to be transferred. The president of the bank I have been dealing with assured me that the money would be transferred day or night, rain or shine. Buying Sachi's painting would cost me all of the property I had accumulated so far. That was fine by me. After all, it was a small price to pay. Watching Sachi giving it all she had convinced me of that. 3 p.m. Man, they're really like hyping this up. Fucking anime, man. It's actually making me hype too. Fuck. The heat of midday had reached its apex. The road stretching out before me seemed to convulse from the heat. Sachi temporarily left her perch and requested a towel from me.
やばいかも。
She wiped her face, but though she could rid it of sweat, she could not cleanse it of the suffering written all across it.
あと4時間か。もう少し画面を引き締めてから水性ペン。いや、とっととマネを描かないと全体のコントラストも。
She had said that she was going to add Mana to the center of the piece.
太陽が夕日になる前に色合いだけは決めちゃわないと。
She was at a loss for what to do. Mana wouldn't be coming back if she couldn't complete it. You should finish the portions that you need to capture as accurately as possible while you still can.
うん、やってる。それはそろそろ終わるよ。問題はマナ。こんな時に今一つあの子のイメージが固まらないの。ずっと一緒に暮らしてたのに。 いつもニコニコして私に構ってくれてたのに。はあ、つまり私の中のマナのイメージなんてその程度のものなのかって、そんな風に軽くマナを意識してたのかって。
Sachi! You're thinking too much. Just be quiet and move your brush. If your feelings for Mana are really that weak, then why do you look so sad? Why are you refusing to sleep? Why are you refusing to take a break? I can't tell you what's going on inside your head. Your body's acting like the best older sister in the world right now. I could see myself in Sachi's eyes.
ありがとう。
She turned back to the painting once more and continued. 3 o'clock, huh? We still had plenty of time. "5 p.m. The sky had begun to bleed. Sachi's right arm continued working itself to death. I snuck a glance at her painting earlier. It looked like she had reached the phase where she could use only her imagination as a guide. I thought that the setting was evening, but she painted the sky a vibrant blue. The sunflowers ranged from green to red. The leaves branching off of them almost looked like hands. Sachi painted over the same areas over and over again, with a variety of colors. The way she managed to create a single pure color from such a mixture stunned me. Sachi suddenly let out a sigh. She let her head droop. She looked very discouraged. Sachi?
大丈夫。
She replied hoarsely.
やらなきゃ。
She scolded herself and sat upright once more. Sachi's appearance underwent a notable change around 6 p.m.
やばい。
Her breathing became ragged. Her feet pounded restlessly against the ground.
このままじゃ。くそ。これも全部私が今まで時間を無駄にしてきたからだ。最初の期限は10日もあったのに、10日もあれば余裕でもっとすごい絵が描けるのに。
You're not going to make it? She had just now realized that I was standing next to her.
やってみるよ。やってみるよ。やってみるけど。
I stared at her painting, aghast. The area where Mana was supposed to be was pure white. Sachi noticed my shock and spoke.
他はほとんど終わってるんだけど、どうしてもそこだけ描き進められないの。マナに会いたい。一目だけでも。
She dabbed at her palette and muttered a prayer.
このままもう二度と会えないだなんて。私のせいでマナが外国に連れて行かれるだなんて。私これからどの面下げて生きていけば。
Her brush, which had not faltered even once during her coughing fits, now began to tremble. It's 6:30.
あと30分。
Can you do it? Can you fill in that blank space in 30 minutes? Sachi jolted upright.
ケンイチ。
Hmm?
ケンイチ、私あんたに。
What's up? I don't think you have the time to be chatting with me now.
そうだけど、そうなんだけど、どうしても頼みたいことがあるの。
I made every effort to control my breathing.
私どうなってもいいから。
The expression on her face could only have been described as ghastly.
強制収容所でも何でも連れて行ってくれて構わないから。
She looked serious. But my life as a special high-class individual cadet would be over if I failed to uphold an obligation as simple as this one.
お願いだから。私の
Could she finish that sentence? Could she ask me to increase her time? Could she stop her bow at a strange angle? She slowly raised her face back up to eye level. What is it? Huh?
それは大きな間違い。ケンイチに助けてもらおうだなんて、自分が怠けてた尻拭いをしてもらおうだなんて。 危なかった。マナだけじゃなくてケンイチにまで迷惑かけるところだった。
I see. She had done well to resist that urge. The egocentric Sachi was now attempting to shoulder all of the responsibility without relying on others. Hang in there. I impulsively offered her a shout of encouragement. But... a bust of Mana, now adorned the center of the painting. But it was a pale imitation of the real thing. Even an amateur could see that. This painting was not completed. Sachi's mouth gaped in abject shock. She rapidly alternated between looking at me and looking at the painting.
もう30分経ったの？嘘！だってさっき描き始めたばっかり。そんなやだよ。
She couldn't even bring herself to focus her eyes on her incomplete painting. A shriek seemed like it could burst forth from her lips at any moment.
こんなことって。
And so the clock hand fell upon 7. Hozuki Masaomi showed up at 8 o'clock on the dot, as he had promised. He limped his way toward me, using his cane for support. A small figure trailed behind him. It was a foreign girl.
Keiichi!
She pattered up to me. She was as carefree as usual. It's been a while, Mana. You been doing okay?
何にもしなくても毎日ご飯出てきて楽ちんだったよ。
I guess Pops had been pretty nice to her.
あれ？
Mana's gaze fell by the roadside.
現状の詳細な報告を。
Hozuki tilted his head down at me. What do you mean by report? The situation is as you see it. As soon as I said that, a murderous look flashed through his eyes.
どういうことだ？
どうして？
現在は午後8時を回っているな。
What about it?
どうして光弘幸が罪を許されているのだ？
お姉ちゃん。
8 p.m. Sachi remained amid the now sunless sunflower field, holding her brush. I permitted her action personally.
それはつまり職務怠慢ということか。
He already understood the trick, but he questioned me anyway. I'm not neglecting my duties. If you will recall, I reduced Sachi's time to 10, then 8 hours earlier, acting under the auspices of special guidance. However, since I acted in opposition to the original law, I decided to allot the hours I had previously denied her to be used at a later time, i.e. now, in consideration of her fundamental human rights. The total comes to an additional 12 hours, combined with her original 12.
小賢しい。初めからそのつもりだったのだろう。
I wouldn't dream of it.
お前は光弘の危機意識を煽るために時間を奪い、やがて光弘が真に時間を必要とするその瞬間を待っていたのだ。だらけている状態ではどうせ無駄にしてしまう時間をうまく貯金していたつもりか。さすが元経営者、資源の無駄遣いをよーく避ける。
And he had predicted that this would happen himself. That's why he had let me off with a warning.
だが警告したはずだ。
So, what was he planning to do for a repeat offense?
貴様のやったことは特別指導の範疇を超えている。一人の行動人が何の申請もなく活動時間を操作することは許されない。
I'll accept whatever punishment you have to give me. However, please understand that Mitsuhiro is sinless in this.
ダメだ。
What?
お前に自分が間違っていると叩き込むにはどうやら光弘の助けがいるようだな。
He slowly approached Sachi, as he was wont. What? As he was wont to do? I think that's a that's a crazy typo. Mana looked at me nervously.
つまりはこういうことだ。 今懸命に筆を取る光弘の腕をへし折らねばならない。
Was he serious?
光弘にどれだけ才能があろうと、もともとまともな市場価格に照らし合わせて森田が財産のほとんどを投げ出すような価値ある絵になるはずがないのだ。
Of course. However, I'm considering this an investment in her future potential. Hosuke slowly shook his head after hearing my explanation.
同情しているのだろう。力のない人間が努力している姿に、その熱意や意志というものに、お前は巨額の金を払う気なのだ。
I cannot deny that such feelings play a role in it.
いや、それが全てだ。
I don't understand.
これからお前が心の奥底で崇拝しているその熱意や意志というものがどれほど弱いものか証明してやる。
He stretched out his arm. Its destination was Sachi's right arm. She had not even acknowledged Hosuke's presence. My body reacted at once. Don't touch her! I grabbed Hosuke's wrist.
悪くない顔つきだ。さすがに南方紛争を生き残っただけのことはある。
He gave a thin smile.
簡単なことだ。特別高等人には人を管理成長させる能力が求められる。管理する人間の数が増えれば感情よりも数字や結果を重視した方が効率が良くなる。これは知ってるな。
I nodded.
だが我々はいつも惑わされる。情けを乞う人の姿に、涙して誠意を示すその表情に、あるいは妹のために昼夜努力するその一枚の絵に、私たちは判断を間違える。
What is it that you want to say?
許すなと言っているのだ。貴様は甘い。期日までに結果を出さなかった人間に対して抜け道を用意していた貴様は甘い。そんなことではいつまで経っても一度に複数の人間を監督できない。だから今すぐにお前が情けをかけている光弘の腕を折り、貴様の信奉する意志の脆弱性を見せつけてやろうというのだ。精神が体という枠を超えることなど決してないという事実を理解させてやる。森田よ、一時的なものとはいえ暴力ほど効率のいい指導はこの世に存在しないぞ。
When he said that, go right ahead. Those words came from Sachi's mouth.
左腕があるからさ。
Sachi said it casually without bothering to pause. But Hosuke seemed to have predicted this response. He continued calmly.
では左腕も折ろう。
口もあるけど。
喉を潰し唇を針で縫う。
じゃあ足かな。
お前が諦めるまで私は何度でも肉体的な苦痛を味合わせてやる。
あ、そう。
実際に痛みがないから余裕でいられるのだ。
そうかもね。本気でやられたら泣いちゃうかも。
今はいい。妹の前だ。かっこつけることができる。だが時間を置いてじっくりと痛めつければどんな人間も体に正直になる。
かもね。諦めちゃうかもね。私ってサボり癖あるから。
その過程をお前の愛する森田の成長のために見せてやる気はないか。
遠慮しとく。健一も見たくないと思うし。
Sir, leave it at that. I grip his wrist even harder. I'm currently in charge of Sachi's supervision. Even if I'm undergoing an examination, you do not have the right to treat Sachi in this manner.
その通り。よく言った。最初からそのように私を止めるべきだったのだ。
I loosened my grip. I released my hand. But I suddenly found myself staring up at the night sky, feeling a little dizzy. A violent impact ran through my back before I had a chance to think.
やはり甘い。許すなと言ったそばから憎き私を解放する。
I scrambled to my feet and glared at Hosuke.
明朝9時。口座を確認した上でここに戻ってくる。入金がなければそのまま少女を連行する。
He left without turning back. I couldn't take my eyes off of him until he disappeared. I was unable to discern what he was thinking even now. But as a result, my impudence had gone unpunished. Both Sachi and Mana were safe.
ケイチ、大丈夫？
Don't worry about me. Sorry for causing trouble. Yes, the one we should be worried about was...
お姉ちゃん。マナ、私、あんたになんて謝ればいいか。お姉ちゃん、今はそんなこと言ってる時じゃないんでしょ？そうだね。謝るのは絵を完成させてから。
She resisted the urge to embrace Mana immediately and returned to her canvas once more. Sachi's final challenge had begun. There were no clouds to dampen the light of the moon. The temperature had fallen, and the cries of the insects seemed to cool the atmosphere even further. Amid this scenery, Sachi worked both of her hands without pause. Trails of color briefly sparkled in the air where Sachi waved her brush. Her movements were precise to the point of absurdity. Absurdity. Why is that so hard to say? She manipulated the colors on the canvas like she was threading a needle. Mana stood nearby, watching nothing but Sachi's face. Mana looked very surprised. Is this really Sachi? Her body seemed to be screaming that question. The Sachi that Mana had wanted was sitting right in front of her. Mana had always said that she would do anything for her sister, smiling the entire time. She had always gone along with Sachi's selfishness. She had worn her hand-me-downs. She had watched her gamble. But through it all, she had always tried to get Sachi to paint. And she had finally obtained that. She showed us her tears for the first time.
お姉ちゃん。お姉ちゃん。ごめんね。邪魔してごめんね。こんなそばで泣いて。でも、まだ嬉しいよ。嬉しいんだよ。ずっとお姉ちゃんのそばで絵を見ていたいよ。
Sachi just kind of sighed. Then she held out her hand, and so very gently cupped it to Mana's cheek. Mana's tears fell onto Sachi's hand, mixing with the paint on it, and it was that combination that dripped down Mana's neck.
ずっとここにいてね。
An exceedingly brilliant smile bloomed from her haggard face. Even if time were to run out, even if Mana were to leave this place, this moment would be etched into their memories for all eternity.
よく顔見せて。よく今まで頑張ってきたね。この小さな顔が私を見捨てずに辛抱強く待っててくれたんだね。初めて会った時さ、可愛いなーって思ってたんだよ。こんな子と一緒に住んだら楽しいかもなーって。本当にペットを飼う感覚だったみたいだね。ごめんね。助けられてるのは私の方だったの。そんなこと、そんなことないよ。そっか、そんな顔して泣くんだね。私にひどいこと言われてもずっと我慢してたんだもんね。やっとあんたの本当の泣き顔見れたよ。お姉ちゃん。ありがとう。おかげで最後のイメージが浮かんだよ。この絵、マナって言うんだよ。だから何があっても最高の作品にしてあげる。少しだけ待っててね。今まで散々待たせたけど、あと少しだけ待っててね。あと少しだけ。
And then Sachi resumed her coloring. She didn't hesitate even one bit. She had already gone past her limit. I could tell just by looking at her. Her feet were unsteady. Her left arm wouldn't stop trembling. Her breathing was so ragged that it made her shoulders heave. Her sharp eyes would lose focus here and there. But even so, her brushstrokes were somehow as accurate as ever. The waltz of her fingertips was incomprehensibly beautiful. Before I realized it, I was on my knees, watching Sachi together with Mana. Our hands were linked. We were probably trying to prostrate ourselves before the dignity of a true artist. We were probably trying to transmit our hopes to Sachi's sunburnt, sweat-drenched body, without shame or honor. As Hozuki had pointed out, there was no way that her painting would be worth such an amount even if she finished it today. But that it wasn't why she had painted it to begin with. This girl wasn't desperate for something like that.
お姉ちゃん頑張って
She poured everything she had into this painting in order to live up to the girl's innocent expectations. Even if there were only 24 hours in a day, even if she had been given only half of that time, even if she had lived a depraved life, plagued by nightmares,
弱い
that wasn't true.
私は弱い
That simply wasn't true. Don't lose to some stupid obligation. Don't surrender to the warped rules that this society has forced upon you. You are strong. Mitsuhiro Sachi is incredibly strong. There was nothing that someone like me could teach her. All that was left for me was to request that, in return for the prodigious effort of this girl who was earnestly painting the symbol of justice, to request that she obtain happiness. Morning had come. The sky to the east glowed with the illumination of the morning sun. The sunflowers cast powerful shadows upon the field. Sachi crumpled to the ground, right as she was about to turn around. Sachi! I supported her immediately. The time was 8 a.m. I took a look at the painting. Mana stood in the middle of a pastel field of sunflowers, smiling broadly. The red and green sunflowers bent toward Mana, offering their leaves to her as a blessing. Overall, it seemed very gentle. I could really understand how Sachi felt about Mana. An amateur such as myself couldn't say anything else about it. But a single tear slid down my face. Amazing. I gasped at the sight. I was reduced to sheer awe of the person who had been able to create this. It was a masterpiece that came straight from Sachi's heart.
ケイジいつの間に起きたの
Huh?
あのねケイジねちょっと倒れてたんだよ
What? No way. I don't remember that at all.
いや30分くらいかな白目向いてたよ
Really? I couldn't recall something like that happening. But I hadn't gotten any sleep in the past few days, so I suppose it wasn't entirely out of the question. Anyway, congratulations, Sachi.
Mm.
Her response was indifferent. She must have exhausted all of her energy. Isn't this great, Mana? You get to see Sachi's ultimate masterpiece.
うんうんいい思い出ができたよ
See, Sachi? You really can do it if you just try. Damn it, you made me worry this whole time. I slapped her on the back. Come on, you need to straighten up. You feel like a jellyfish.
いやなんか全然力が入らなくてさ
Is that so? I'll piggyback you back to the room again. I'll send in the application to cancel your obligation too. You'll be as free as a bird in no time.
私自由なのなんで
Why? Well, this probably sounds pretty bad, but it's because you were painting for money. You'll be able to make even more money with a 24-hour a day, right? It's no problem to get an obligation that's subject to a monetary pardon absolve if you can present them with reasoning like that.
そっか私 これで自由になれるんだね。なんか申し訳ない。
No, not at all. You did well. You were even more amazing than I was during my training.
そうかな。
Sachi and Mana must have been really tired since they weren't even trying to follow along with me. Alright, from now on, this painting belongs to Morita-sama. Maybe I'll frame it. I took out my cell phone.
お金を振り込むの？
Yep. Just hold your horses.
待って。
Ah, hello. Mr. President, you sound as young as ever. Me? Oh, I'm just watching the Earth totter on the edge of destruction as usual, I suppose.
ケンイチ。
Well, I'm the manager without common sense, you know. I've never even worn a suit. My stockholders literally sighed in relief as soon as I announced that I was stepping down.
ねえ、ケンイチ。
Anyways, I'm counting on you. Yeah, that stock we were talking about? Yeah, that one. Ah, sorry for making you prepare that much all of a sudden.
ケンイチ、聞いて。
I don't want to hear it! I hung up the cell phone. I can tell what's going on by looking at your faces. Mana shook her head softly.
できてないんだよ。
She pointed to the painting without malice.
ここね、色にムラがあるでしょ。あとね、ここね、まだ色が乾いてないからわからないけど、もうちょっと塗り足さなきゃダメなの。それからね、ここのひまわりはもっと伸び伸びとした感じが出てなきゃいまいちなんだよね。それからね。
I couldn't understand her. Do you have any idea what you're saying?
お姉ちゃんはね、全然ダメだったってことだよ。
What did you say?
お姉ちゃんね、もうギブアップなんだって。ね、お姉ちゃん。
Sachi looked at me, her face as pale as a ghost.
動かないの、腕が。だから左腕で描けばってマナは言ったんだけどね。そしたらお姉ちゃん本気で描き始めて、ミスってちょっと色を濁らせちゃったの。そんなの無理に決まってるんだよ。あのほおずきって人の言った通りだよ。体が思うように動かなきゃどんなことだって無理なんだよ。お姉ちゃん、焦って何度も書き直し始めたの。そういうのが一番良くないのに、どんどんドツボにはまっていっちゃったの。マナがね、何度ももういいからって、もういいからって、マナは何度も止めたんだよ。でもね、お姉ちゃんはずっと諦めなかったんだよ。マナのお姉ちゃんはすごいんだよ。すごかったんだよ。
She was on the verge of sobbing. Sachi's severe little coach was angry on the outside, crying on the inside.
でもダメなの。この絵はまだまだできてないの。だからケンイチもこれを買っちゃダメなんだよ。
I want Sachi to go even further. I want Sachi to become an even more amazing artist in the future. That was why she shouted.
マナ、こんな絵じゃ全然満足じゃないもん。
Her heart almost burst out of her chest. But I refused to acknowledge that. Sachi, listen. I don't really know much about painting, but this piece is wonderful. It's worth it to me. Okay? I'm going to buy it. Mana's life is hanging in the balance here. Mana frowned at me.
マナ、いいもん。マナの故郷の王国でもっといい暮らしするんだもん。こんな田舎のマナのこと変な目で見る人がたくさんいるところなんて嫌だったんだもん。 洗濯とかして学園にも行けなくてお友達もいないのがつまらないんだよ。お姉ちゃんのわがまま聞くのもお下がりの服もこんなの。
I couldn't bear to listen to anymore. Sachi, don't just stand there. Mana's just gotten a little riled up. I don't know what she told you, but please, just listen to what I have to say. Tell me that it's completed.
ケイジ、ダメだよ。
Tell me to buy this picture, damn it.
お姉ちゃんは頑張りが足りなかったんだよ。ケイジが時間を延ばしてもできなかったんだよ。だから甘やかしたらダメなんだよ。
She was starting to piss me off. Mana, you understand just what it is that you're saying? If I don't pay the money, you won't be able to be with your sister ever again. You'll be abandoning Sachi. I don't know if you're just parroting crap you read in that novel or whatever, but stop trying to reduce this to a matter of black and white.
違うの。マナが自分で考えたんだもん。
Mana! I forced my face into the most menacing expression I was capable of making. Stop this at once. You're but a child.
ケイジこそマナのお姉ちゃんにとやかく言わないで。
She hadn't been intimidated? Mana, you're not normal. There's no way. There's no way that someone like you can exist. Did she know how many people had trembled before this expression?
ケイジには関係ないもん。
Why did she continue to oppose me after I had demonstrated true anger?
マナのお姉ちゃんはケイジが持っているよりずっとすごいんだよ。
Where was she hiding all of that courage?
ケイジみたいな優しい人は時々人をダメにするんだよ。
She was trying to lecture me?
マナのお姉ちゃんはマナがいないくらいでダメになっちゃうようなそんな弱っちい人じゃないんだよ。
Ridiculous! Sachi, say something! Stop crying! Think about this seriously. Mana is saying that she's going to leave. You're going to lose the little sister you've cherished so much. Sachi held her hand against her chest and tried to settle her breathing.
ケイジはやっぱり最後には何とかしてくれるんだね。でもその優しさは受け取れないよ。
What? Something broke inside of me. These two idiots. Someone needs to teach them a lesson. These two idiots. Someone needs to praise them. Sachi's weak voice halted my interlocking lines of thought.
二人で話し合って決めたの。私も今のケイイチみたいに怒ったけどマナは全然言うこと聞かないの。だってそうだよね。今まで4年間もずっと絵のことだけは妥協してくれなかったんだもん。
And you're okay with that? Sachi took a deep breath.
いいわけないじゃん。悔しいけど悲しいけどどうしようもないのよ。
I see.
ケイイチ、お姉ちゃんお願いするよ。
I fell to my knees. I just can't win against you guys. A girl as smart and brave as Mana just might have been able to keep on living no matter what country she was in. I could no longer buy this painting. This was outside the realm of people like special high-class individuals.
ありがとう。お姉ちゃん、まだまだ頑張んなきゃダメなんだよ。私、頑張るよ。お姉ちゃんなら、きっともっとすごい絵が描けるよ。
It was already 9 a.m.
じゃあね、お姉ちゃん。
Mana would be leaving soon.
マナね、お姉ちゃんにいっぱいお礼言わなきゃ。お礼拾ってくれてありがとう。一緒に暮らしててすっごい楽しかった。私もだよ。鍾乳石ありがとうね。大事にするよ。あれは大したもんじゃないからさ。マナのベッド作ってくれてありがとうね。本当にあんたは押し入れが好きなんだから。あんまりパソコンやってると目を悪くするんだよ。わかってるって。もうしないよ。ありがとうね。私もお姉ちゃん。
Sachi's shoulders began to tremble.
こんなのってないよ。やだよ。マナやだ、私やだよ。お願い。お願いだから。私、マナが大好きなんだよ。
Sachi's shout flew far off into the blue summer sky.
マナもお姉ちゃんが大好きだよ。だったらさ、ね、お願いだから今回だけでも。マナのお姉ちゃんはすごいんだよ。
Sachi's mood changed completely. She muttered something.
いってらっしゃい。
She sent her younger sister off with a tap on her shoulder.
でもすぐに帰ってくるんだよ。私超ビッグな画家になってあんたをまたこっちに呼び戻してやるからね。はーい。マナはいっつも元気だね。お姉ちゃんほどじゃないよ。
They smiled at each other. They smiled brightly at each other in order to praise each other's strength. I felt like I had learned something. A person who had been trained to supervise people bearing obligations had become their student. I understood the strength of sisters. I understood that love could be severe, yet gentle. I let out a huge sigh. Sunlight continued to fall upon the sunflower field from the boundless sky. The chorus of cicadas reached my ears, carried along with the vague warmth of the mountain wind. Midsummer was right around the corner. Bosuke took Mana and left town. Sachi broke down as soon as Mana vanished into the horizon. Tears poured from her eyes like a waterfall, leaving the ground beneath her damp. She eventually collapsed by the roadside, coughing without end. She had hit her limit. I carried her back to the room. After that, we both fell asleep. I had my first smoke in a while. I need to get to work on that application as soon as I finish this. Gotta be careful not to write some weird shit while I'm high. Kekeke. I stretched. I wonder if it'll be accepted. Well, as you know, Sachi worked pretty damn hard. I gotta get her obligation cancelled no matter what. I heard a footstep on the gravel behind me.
またブツブツ言ってるし。
Oh, you're awake already. I put out my pipe.
まだちょっと気分悪いけどね。
Maybe you let your guard down and your cold came back.
かもね。しんど。
She yawned languidly.
ケンイチはそろそろ他の人の担当になっちゃうんでしょ？
Probably.
じゃあしばらく会えないね。
Well, I'll still be in town, so you can see me anytime.
いや、今度は私が忙しいから。
I see. Sachi started walking slowly.
今までどうもありがとう。
Good luck. My wave was met with a smile.
さーて、今日もピリッと頑張るぞーっと。
She was holding the bag full of painting supplies. She walked in the direction of the setting sun, holding Mana's present tightly. I watched her until she vanished from sight. You know, ever since Hozuki came in that scene, my body has been trembling. My fingers and my feet were like super cold. I was just like fanboying every like throughout the whole scene. I was just fanboying. I was like, holy shit. This was why I like visual novels, dude. I didn't even want to give out my thoughts because, like, fuck my thoughts. I just want to see what happens next. Because I don't even remember what happened. So that was like, oh my god, fuck. That still blew my mind. What the hell is this? I slammed both of my hands onto Hozuki Masaumi's desk. My head threatened to split, such was my anger.
いい報告書だ。私から推薦文を書いておくとしよう。
Hozuki coolly looked over my report.
光弘幸は晴れて自由の身だ。
I'm not talking about that.
詳しく聞こう。
You little. My heart was beating like crazy. I thought it was odd from the start. Mana started looking a bit strange after we came back from the cave. And then I found out that some ambassador from a foreign country was planning to buy her. That explanation is total bullshit.
ここに王室直筆の契約書類がある。
He pointed to some form on his desk. It certainly seemed to be genuine. But, furthermore, wasn't Mana's price raised at one point? It's suspicious. I don't care how unstable their government is. Paying that much for a single girl is simply unbelievable. I thought it was weird, so I took the liberty of checking out the bank account you had told me about. Only to find that you were the director of the bank in question. Don't you think that's a bit of a coincidence?
私が取引を仲介しているのだ。不自然なことなど何もない。
There are other points of concern as well. Just where did that ambassador disappear to? And why did he come to a town as remote as this one to begin with? How did he manage to track down Mana so quickly and easily? Doesn't this sound the least bit off to you?
会社は私の知人だ。私に会いに来た。ついでに町を案内したところ、例の少女に出くわし、亡き国王の娘に面影が似ていると絶賛した。それだけのことだが。
And I'm telling you that's way too convenient of an explanation. It made me dizzy. Here's what I think. You found a suitable foreigner living in this town, brought him here, and then set it up so that I would eavesdrop on you. You said it yourself. The situation was a chance for me. Well, I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I thought it was the perfect chance to get Sachi to start painting again. Why, I should be thanking you. Yeah. Thanks to you, Sachi has really grown as a person.
問題ないではないか。
You played around with their lives like that, and you're telling me that you don't know why I'm complaining?
何かを得るには何かを失わなければならない。
don't give me that.
マナという少女には戸籍もなく、何ら社会的保障もない。かの少女は教育も受けられず、あのままでは社会に貢献できなかったのだ。私がこの申請書が素晴らしいというのは、そんな無価値な人間が姉の将来を憂い、自ら犠牲になった点だ。
Magnificent.
そう、もはや光弘に怠惰は許されない。絵で金を貯めて大切な妹を取り戻すのだ。
His tone was bombastic.
それをマスコミは拾い上げるぞ。裏若い容姿のいい少女が懸命に妹のために絵を描くのだ。しかも過去に盗作まがいの傷を負っているというドラマ性もある。
Man, I love this game. Not biased in any way, by the way. Oh my god.
世間は感動し、光弘の絵は実力以上に評価されることだろうな。そう、絵画ブームとやらになるやもしれん。
He was smiling.
その経済効果を読んで素晴らしいと褒めたたえているのだよ。
This guy, I was astonished.
森田よ、特別高等人とは社会の権下だと知れ。一手先二手先なら誰でも読める。だが我々は常に社会を監視し、対局を推察しなければならない。病人がいなければ医者は失業する。戦争がなければ軍人は解散する。罪人がいなければ特別高等人も必要ない。私のような憎らしい悪役が光弘のように日向を行く人間を突き動かす。万物は流転する。そこに多少の善悪があろうとも、今日も太陽は東から昇ってくる。それはまるでシャリンのように。
Thanks for the name drop there. I spoke up. You know, in those sci-fi novels I read, the wheel is a form of torture device. You should be more mindful of the humans who get stuck under that wheel of yours. I stared straight into Hosuke's cold eyes. Don't take people too lightly. That was what I had learned while looking after Mana and Sachi. You'd do well to remember that. Oh! I'm gonna save my game. Oh! Oh! See, like... That was why like, can you blame me for not for liking visual novels after seeing that? Like, what was that? That was beautiful. So, I have been mostly a narrator throughout the whole chapter, but let me give my thoughts, I guess, on what I used to think, right? So I told you guys that what I used to think was because I used to think the same way as Kenichi, but now I'm a bit more grown up, right? I have my own thought process and stuff. Back when I was still young, I was actually super surprised that the choice I made to not give in to Sachi's, like, you know, temptation actually led towards this ending. Because I thought that, yeah, there's no, like, if I help her, that's gotta be the way to go, right? I was still a naive kid back then, you know? I thought these games were supposed to be, yeah, if you be nice to the girl, or if you be nice to a specific someone, you're gonna be inside of their route, right? Wrong! You have to act like a bastard to actually get this ending. If you actually pay for the painting when she's not finishing, you actually get a bad ending route with Sachi. But yeah, I was quite naive back then. But yeah, my thoughts so far is just that I do feel like Kenichi is quite soft. I can't believe it, but the more I grew up, the more I grew to be more so like Hozuki than actually Kenichi. Because, like, I can understand Kenichi's, like, you know, feelings, right? Because I also felt the same way as he did. How could this happen? Why would you say that to your sister? But I'm a I guess I'm more logical than anything. And what Hozuki said is just kind of resonates to me. Man, he's such a good antagonist. Oh, damn, Hozuki is good. Alright, I guess that's enough. That was a great play. Next time we'll be playing Chapter 3. I am actually playing this at 2 a.m., which is not good. I gotta go to bed real soon. But thank you all for watching. This was awesome. This was actually one of the chapters that I didn't like as much when I was younger. I think more so because I didn't like Sachi. But now that I'm older, I kind of understand her a tiny bit more. Maybe not exactly, but I understand what the writer was trying to say. In terms of her anguish, in terms of her, like, you know, her inner struggles. I understand it a bit more. Because when I was younger, all I could see was someone who's spoiled. Though technically it's right, she is spoiled. But I couldn't understand why she had so much trouble, like, doing what she was doing. That's it. But yeah, I talked enough. I talked enough. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Almost had a tear in my eye too. Damn, that scene was good.